Well, good morning, everybody. Travels with Dottie here, and I'm coming to you from inside the trailer in Eagle Nest out there where you see the kind of green. It's hard to see a little bit. Let me see if I can turn the camera. You can make the lake out in the fog there. So I have a beautiful lake view right out my window here, which I'm going to have for the rest of the summer. And based on comments and questions that I've gotten, and especially on a very popular video is on my home base, people are asking, some people ask specific questions about where's your home base, what does it cost for the I can't answer questions on my particular situation and location, but I can give you, I think, a lot of good information on how you can find your own little piece of paradise, right? So there are a number of ways to do it. Um, Certainly, you can first decide, where do you want to be? Where do you want to look? Right? You can find the perfect piece of property or the perfect residential permanent RV park place. But if you're not happy with the nearby town or city or whatever, you probably won't be very happy with your home base. So you want to find, like, you've been with me for a little while, you hear me go on and on about how much I love Artesia, New Mexico, and that's my little town, right? And so that's a big part of my extreme satisfaction with what I've done. So how do you decide? Well, you need to travel. I highly suggest, if, for example, if you can afford it and you're leaving a home, don't sell the home, leave it there, travel, leave that your home to be your temporary home base until you find a new one. So travel from place to place and get to know people. And a great way to do it is start a YouTube channel. Yeah, absolutely. Start a YouTube channel. It's easy to do. You can do it with your phone, and great content. People love content. Go into a little town, go into a store, say, "Hey, I have a travel YouTube channel. Can I film your store?" Yeah, you can do that. Would you mind being on camera and talking about your store? And they might say no, because they don't want to be on camera. Say, how about if we do it, the camera will be on me, not you, and we'll just hear your voice. And most of the time they'll say yes to that. But what does that do? It's not really in this context about getting to know that store. It's about getting to know that person in the store, right? And you're going to start to get to know the personality of the town if you do a few of these, right? And say, be there for a couple of weeks and really get a feel for what the town is like. And do you like it here? Do I feel that I can fit in the community? If not, move on to another town, do another 2 weeks. You don't have to have a YouTube channel to do it, but you do have to find a way to talk to people. Coffee shops can be good for that. Just, you got to break the ice and give people some eye contact and just say hi. Even if you're terrified, if you're an introvert. I'm an introvert. Do you believe that? You watch my videos, you think, how could he be an introvert? But I am. And you just need to get past the fear and say hi. And friendly people will say hi back to you. And chances are a conversation will ensue. You're out in a public park and someone's going by with a dog. Talk to their dog. People love that. Talk to the dog first, look at them, and ask questions about their dog. People love to talk about their dogs. And that leads into the person stops their walk, you're engaged in a conversation, and you're getting to know people. Then you can go into asking them questions about, so do you live here? How long have you lived here? What kind of town is it? I'm thinking of moving. Boom! Do that a half a dozen times, and you're going to find out a lot about a town. So let's say I find a place I want to live. So draw a circle in your mind or on a real paper map or whatever you want to do, draw a circle around that town with a radius. How far am I willing to travel to go to the grocery store? How much time am I willing to take to go to the grocery store? That tells you how far away you can live from the grocery store. Services. Generally, the further out, the better deals that you're going to get. Now, the first layer is, are there any RV parks around that that are reasonably priced that you'd be comfortable leasing full time? That's a tough one, because you want to find one that has a monthly rate that doesn't include electricity. Why? Because generally those base rates in small towns are pretty low. As low as $200. I've seen it as low as $175 a month plus electricity. Right? So, but think about it. If it's going to be your home base and you're not going to be there several months out of the year, you're not going to be using any electricity. So you won't be charged for any electricity. There you go. Inexpensive RV parks. Well, some of them might allow you to put like a little storage shed on there. Find out, ask the questions, and trust me, if you drive through there and you don't see any storage sheds, the answer is going to be no. But if you see a few, find out what the rules are, find out if you can do it. In other areas, there are RV resorts that actually sell you a lot. Right? It becomes your property, and you pay like an HOA fee, like some kind of fee that's like an HOA fee. And if it's a resort, there may be a swimming pool, a gym, laundry, there may be all sorts of amenities that you will pay for in that fee. And usually these are they can go anywhere from, say, $20,000 at the low end to a couple $100,000 at the high end, depending on where you are and how fancy the place is and the location. And generally, those places allow you to put structures on the lot they'll have restrictions, but you can figure it out. But what if, I like that idea, but I don't have the money for that. Well, there's other alternatives too. There are people that own property that would like to lease to a RVer to stay on their land, right? And what really prompted me to do this video is someone put a comment. Let me see if I can find it here real quick. You all. Okay. 8 hours ago, there was having a home base changes everything for travel is my video. It was very, very, a lot of views on it. It says, I have a space available to rent to RVers in southeastern Arizona. Any thoughts on how I should rent it out? I'm open to trades for gardening or home maintenance, high desert, surrounded by national forests with BLM areas and great hiking, biking, and water sports. And that's on, if you go to my video titled Why Having a Home Base Changes Everything for Travel. You can find that comment. If you're interested in contacting her, you can just respond to that comment and say, email me and give your email address or whatever you'd like to do. That exists almost everywhere. Some people even have 30 and 50 amp pedestals and hookups that they may be on the property for when they had an RV or the prior owner had an RV. How do you find them? Well, there are two ways. I think, all the controversy aside, I think Facebook can be a really useful tool, especially the Facebook groups. Every community that I spend time in, Eagle Nest, Artesia, Quartzsite, Pahrump, those towns all have at least one, if not more than one, Facebook group that are people that live in that town or have an interest in that town, sometimes thousands of people in that group. And you're allowed to post. First, you can search in the group for RV site, and you might come up with people with ads like that. Or you can put your own out there, say, looking to to lease property for my RV, and say what you're willing to do and what you're willing to pay, the range of what you're willing to pay, whatever you want to do. And you might get people responding to you. I noticed out in the Artesia area, I was noticing quite a few private property owners were advertising that they were offering RV spaces. A couple of them, I think, were $500 a month, but that was including all utilities and electricity. That's not bad. That's not bad. It's better if you can get a fee plus the electric, so you have a lower cost when you're not there. But things are, especially if you're dealing with individuals, it's always negotiable. And also, if you do searches out there on Facebook, that I did find one group yesterday that was all about RV sites. Let me see if I can find it again. There was a site called RV lots for sale or rent with or without an RV park model. That was it took me 2 seconds to find that group. And there are lots of groups like that. I think as I went through this group, they're mostly higher end places. People are posting out there like, I'm looking for a lot to rent in Daytona or south of there. Let's see if anyone answered. He got an answer. Posted that 11 hours ago. 5 hours ago, an answer came through saying, send me a message or friend request. I have availability. All right. So also think about this. If you have a friend or a family member that has, fairly good sized property, you can feel them out to see, how would you feel about me paying you to have my home base be on your property, and talk a little bit about what that would look like. And if their property's big enough, you could be far enough away from them. If they're worried about privacy, there's things that could be negotiated. Also, you could, if you can afford it, you can offer to say, hey, I'll put in separate electric. Now that can be thousands of dollars, but it can be really worth it for you. You can even put in electric and sewer if you really want to go crazy and really make it a wonderful thing. Sewer is probably a lot tougher than electrical. You can get by. I get by here in Eagle Nest. This is I don't have hookups here where I am on the lake, but the RV park has run a electrical line out off a regular outlet and one of their outhouses. So it's like 15, maybe it's probably a 20 amp circuit, but it's probably the line's probably only 15 amps. I'm not going to be running a big stuff. It'll just, it will throw the breaker. But in the summer, I don't really worry about that. It will, believe it or not, if I'm not running anything else, it will run my AC, believe it or not. So I wanted you all to understand all the different ways that you can find a home base. So number one, travel and find an area you want to stay in. Fall in love with an area. And here's the other thing. I didn't mention this, and this was a major consideration for me. Where are the areas that I'd like to travel in as a nomad? And for me, I love New Mexico. I love Arizona and Utah. And I haven't camped in Colorado yet, but I'm sure I'd love it. And here I'm 30 miles from Colorado. That's as the crow flies. It's probably 60 miles by roads, but as the crow flies, and 30 miles north of here in that direction is the Colorado border. And the topography here, the mountains and lakes, it looks just like a lot of Colorado. It's what you think about when you think of Colorado. So I want these places that I want to travel to be accessible. I don't want to get a place in southern New Mexico when really the places I want to travel are Florida and West Virginia. It makes no sense. But if I'm going to be in the Southwest, there you go. So I hope that this video gives you a good idea of how to find what you need for a home base. For me, my important things are location, price. Well, let's start over. Number one, being near a town that I love. So that's the location part. Price, convenience, right? Price and convenience may be what kind of electrical is available. What do I do about my sewer? Proximity to where I want to travel as a nomad. And when you tick all those things off, and storage. You want to be able to store things because you're going to find out that it's kind of a pain in the neck to drag everything you own around with you in the RV. It's so much easier to thin out those storage spaces. It feels luxurious after you do it. Now, did I leave my home base and think, I should have brought? Yes, so far there's only one thing. It's my mop. I left my mop, but that's not a big deal because today I'm going to do another video. I'm going to Angel Fire because I have to fill a tank with propane. I'm going to Angel Fire, which is about 10 miles away, to fill up with my propane and to it's like a hardware store. They do it, and I'm going to buy a mop. And it'll be less than $10. So that's the big mistake I've made so far. What else? I think that's it. But if those of you with experience and ideas, throw them into those throw them into those comments. Give people an idea. And like this lady, if you have a spot you want to rent to somebody, throw it out there. Take care. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you tomorrow.